Hi everyone, this is Dina, the Nightly Stitcher. You can find me here and also under the Nightly Stitcher over on Instagram. This is November 1st, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 15. So today I have one finished. I have 3 or 4 FFOs. I have some haul. I have some whips, and I also have some plans for next month. So if you want to check that out, grab a cup of coffee or tea or whatever and come join me. I have chamomile and vanilla tea right now. I have this cute little, I bought this on vacation a couple of years ago. You put your tea bag in there and put it in your hot water, and it's a little manatee because I like manatees. So he's just hanging on my cup. So anyway, gosh, I think it's been about 2.5 weeks since I videoed last time. I haven't been anywhere other than we went to Walmart one day. I've mentioned before that my husband does all the grocery shopping and the Walmart run and all that stuff because I hate to do that. So since he cooks, he does most of the food shopping. But last Friday we did go to Walmart. I wanted to do homemade dog food for our dogs. I'd watched some videos on YouTube and wanted to try a recipe out for them. Tootie, who is right here. This is Tootie. Everyone knows Tootie. She's had since October. Well, since we got her, we'll have her. It'll be 3 years in March. We've had a lot of episodes of low blood sugar with her. She goes into that like a kind of a, I don't know if it's really called a seizure. I guess it would be. She kind of pulls her feet up and starts shaking and kind of dazed, looks off into space. And so we have to get honey in her mouth. And then once we can get her kind of back to where she should be, then we give her usually some peanut butter or something, some kind of protein that kind of sustains her. But she is not a very good eater is our problem. She doesn't like science diet food that well. All of our dogs have been raised on science diet. We've fed it to them for years, and of course, all the others are bigger Pomeranians. She's not quite 3 pounds, so she's had dozens of these low blood sugar episodes, and I know what to do to get her out of it, but it worries me when we have to leave her. So I talked to the vet the other day, and he said he really would like to see her gain some weight, and we've tried different things, and she is just such a picky eater. So whoops, come here. She's such a picky eater that we think she likes something and she'll eat it for a couple of days and then she decides she doesn't like it anymore. So we've tried chicken and adding chicken to the dog food and turkey to the dog food and just changing dog foods, and we would prefer to keep her on the science diet if we're going to feed her a dog food. So anyway, the vet said he really wanted her to gain some weight. So now we tried carrots and eggs and all kinds of stuff this last couple of weeks, and she is just so picky. So I did the homemade dog food, and the only thing we did different with the dog food that we got off of the recipe that we got off of YouTube was we added some of the science diet in with it. And you do a big batch and then you can put it in the freezer. And our other dogs love it. I mean, they just gobble it right down. In fact, they've always gobbled their dog food, so they use a slow feeder, but we started that, and it's been a good success with the other dogs. We don't want them to gain any more weight than they already weigh, but we need to get some weight on her. So she excuse me, like I said, she's had a lot of episodes with that, and since October. I started tracking it in October, and she's had 3 episodes. She had one on the 12th of October, and then she had one about a week and a half ago at night, and then she had another one the next morning shortly after we had gotten up. And because she doesn't want to eat breakfast, and yeah, I don't know, it's just hard. So far so good. So I don't know if we have any more episodes. The vet said he didn't think there was any other underlying causes. He thinks she's just so tiny that she needs to eat every 2 or 3 hours. So that's a big commitment, but that's what we're doing, is trying to offer her food every 2 to 3 hours. So anyway, hopefully we can get this under control. I was going to say something else, and I don't remember what it was now. So anyway, and then we do give her Nutrical. We give her that for some extra energy. So yeah, she's just something. But anyway, you're here for stitching, and I don't have any other news. Oh yes, I do. We were going to get together this coming weekend for my daughter and son-in-law's birthday dinner, and so he likes German chocolate cake, and she likes carrot cake. So when I was at Walmart the other day, I picked up 2 cake mixes. So I was going to make them both their own cake. So, and then that way, when they come in Sunday, whoever wants whatever, they'd have it. So I wasn't sure how many people like carrot cake. I'm kind of like on and off of carrot cake. I love German chocolate, so I'll be eating Daryl's cake. But anyway, my daughter texted me last night and said we're going to have to put it off probably till Thanksgiving because they both have COVID. So she said Daryl had not been feeling good for a couple of weeks, and so he tested positive the other day, and she started not feeling good yesterday, so she tested last night, and now she has it. So they're both sick, kind of like the way Steve and I was. So she said Daryl feels worse than she does, so I guess we won't be doing birthday dinners this Sunday after all. So I'm just hold on to the cake mix. So y'all get me today with bedhead. I got up and Steve is gone, so I decided to do my floss tube while he's gone. He goes pretty much every Tuesday and plays pool with his brother at the senior center. So he's usually gone from about 8:30 to 1 or 2 o'clock, depends on how far they get in the tournament. So anyway, Tuesdays are just a good day for me to film. You can see I'm in a different location. So I'm in my living room in my new chair. So still haven't gotten the couch and the love seat from the furniture company. So we're still at that point. But anyway, I've been having some knee issues, so I haven't been climbing stairs any more than I have to. Trying to stay off my feet more. I don't know. I think I probably will eventually break over and have to go see the knee specialist, but some days it's not as bad as others, but I'm not getting around very good. So I just kind of gathered everything up on TV trays, and it's here at my chair. So yeah, making half dozen trips upstairs to haul it all up and then bring it all down after my videos. I just can't do that right now. So anyway, let's see. On my last floss tube, I said I had a finish, but I couldn't find it. So I found it, and this is it. It's the Blackbird freebie that I had been showing you all my progress on. This is a freebie from 2002, so you can find it on online. I found it on Etsy, not Etsy. I found it on Pinterest. And it doesn't have a name, I don't believe. It's just a freebie from 2002. So, don't know what fabric this is. I had it in my stash, so I did it, and I think I still have plenty to cut off once I frame it and do some other stuff with. So it's going to go in a little bitty frame. I think frame, or I don't know, maybe a little pillow. It's not, hang on a minute. Do it this way. It's not that big, so it's Might make a cute little pillow. So anyway, that's the only FO I have. Only finished piece. I did finally decide to do some FFOing. And you know, everybody that does it, you have to be in the mood to do it. So when I'm in the mood, then I want to push things through. So this first one that I did the other day, I had stitched this piece several years ago and had just been in that under the bed box. So I pulled it out. It's Snow Spooky. You can barely see the N and the W on that. I wish I had just done the whole thing in black, but that's in the past, so just tolerate it. But at a distance, you only see the S and the O, so let's see. I don't like that part, but I wasn't going to tear it out and redo it. I'm not sure who this pattern is by. It's been so long since I did it. I used overdyes as the orange. I think I used just a regular white. I think the only overdyed I used was on the orange. Then I put a little Jabco bat button on there, a couple of them. This frame, I went down the basement the other day and rummaged through my frames, and I picked this one out, and I had not tried to cut a frame myself, so I ended up cutting it, and it came out pretty good. My corners aren't too bad. We were having some issues with the corners coming together right, so I did fill in a little bit with some wood putty, which did the trick, and then I painted it. I then splattered it with some black paint and a brush, just kind of dipped it in the black and flicked it with my finger. So, and then I sprayed a clear coat over the top of it. So I'm really pleased with how this came out. But it'll get packed up now in the next day or two. So I guess we'll be... Oh, and then I started doing this. I'm trying to get these labels on the back of all my frames. So the ones that I've stitched and they're hanging on the wall, I'm trying to find the information on them. So this, let me look here. I might be able to tell you. I forgot it was even on here. Snow Spooky by Little River. That's what it says. The linen was a 28 count. The color was Babbling Brook. So there you go. I used DMCs. I used Weeks Dye Works in saffron and pumpkin. So it looks like, okay, the yellow around the eyes is in saffron. And then the, what'd I say? Pumpkin was the other color. Both Weeks Dye Works. I started this and finished it both in 2004. That's the only information I have on it. So yeah, 2 more years. 1 more year. It's almost 2023. It'd be a 20-year-old piece, and I just now got it finished. Fully finished. This one I thought turned out pretty cute. Let me throw that little piece of fuzz over there. This is a Mill Hill kit. It, let me scoot you a little bit. I keep leaning forward. And okay. So anyway, this is a Mill Hill kit I did a while back. I think I finished the stitching on it earlier this year or the latter part of last year, but it was one of their kits. I did it on, I think it's called a dirty linen. It's a 14 count. You can see the roof is beaded. This in here is beaded. The ghosts are beaded, the pumpkins are beaded, and the cat is beaded. But the house, the main part of the house, the gray and the yellows and the grass and the checkerboard border are all stitched. And then these 2 little buttons go up in the corner. So and then this was a little piece of something on it. This is the chenille yarn that I bought a while back at Joann's. And I just glued it on the edge and made it an easel stand up. I made this out of, from memory when I did more stand-ups. I had taken a class years ago on stand-ups, and we put a piece of cardboard in the bottom. You cut a wide piece of fabric, and then you put a piece of cardboard in there. Well, I got it when I was assembling it. I put this piece on, but I didn't put the cardboard in there. And I thought, oh no, it's supposed to have the piece of cardboard, I think, to keep it a little more rigid. So I hadn't glued the piece in completely on both pieces. So I just cut a little piece of cardboard and slid it down into the piece of fabric. So then, after I glued it all together and completely finished it, I couldn't collapse this so that you could store it away because of the piece of cardboard in there. So it's like, okay, now I don't remember how we did that at the class. So I just took a ruler and I put it across there and I smooshed it, and it worked. So I have the rigid cardboard right here, but I'm able to smush it to store it away. So that's what I did. And then I went back and I watched Vanna's tutorial, Vanna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher. I watched her tutorial on making flat folds. Hers was a little different, but I got enough that I think I can do it again this time and do it right. So then I just glued the yarn on, and I have some little iron-on labels that I ordered the other day that just says made by Dina Gentry, Mexico, Missouri. And then I'm gonna go through on some of these and iron them on the back. I wanted to somehow get some information on these and my pillows or pin cushions or whatever. So they're not here yet. I hope they come before too long. But anyway, that is one of my finishes. I didn't center very good because I kind of always guess at it. I usually allow 2 inches on all 4 sides. And apparently I didn't on this piece when I cut it. So when I did an approximate 2 inches, I barely had enough on the far right side to fold it back. But I got it. So that is another FFO. I finished this little guy. These are called doodles. Now I think Kathy Haverman, I think she does Heart and Hand. No, is that right? Hands-on design. Anyway, she, I think, has come out with some charts that are called doodles. These are not the same doodles. This was called a doodle. There years ago, they came in little plastic cases with just the pattern and a button. And I have some others to do also that I bought a whole bunch of them at one time. And I found them recently on eBay or Etsy. I don't remember, but they're out there and you can still buy them. But anyway, this little guy, when I stitched him years ago, and somewhere along the way, I have managed to lose the crow button. He was supposed to have a crow on his hat. So I ended up just putting this little sunflower button. I bought some different buttons over at Joann's and Hobby Lobby at times just to have on hand. So I just cut the shank off the back. When I cut the shank off the back, these 2 pieces come apart. So I just glued the center back in to the sunflower and then glued the sunflower on. And then I've got long stitches for his straw hair. And I put I put like the old handkerchief backing on. Thought it went with his shirt pretty good. And then I put rickrack around the edge. So that's all I did on that. So I thought he turned out pretty good. So he'll go on my fall tree next year. And the last FFO I have is an acorn. And this, I think, was a free chart by the Work Basket. I didn't dig my chart out, but I'm pretty sure it was a free chart. So I did this. It was done. I know this is Threadworks thread floss, just cotton floss, but I don't remember what the color is to it. So anyway, I did that and I finished it in this kind of an oval shape. I couldn't figure out if I wanted to make a pillow out of it or frame it or what, so I ended up just kind of drawing an oval around it and doing the little hang up, and I just hang it from a knob on a piece of furniture that I have. And then I had this Jabco button. I tried to put a bow on it. I didn't like the bow. I have this little, let me see if I can show it to you. It's just a little woven trim I had picked up at Joann's. And then I had the little pom-pom trim by Lady Dot. But I did that, and then, like I said, I was going to put a bow on it. I didn't like the bow because the stem of the acorn was coming up here. I tried putting the acorn up here and thought, well, maybe I need some more fall stuff. It was blocking that stem, and I didn't like it blocking that stem. So I decided just to put the little oak leaf right there. So I'm happy with it. The only thing I wish I had have done was layered batting and kind of made it a little more dimensional so that it, instead of being completely flat, that it would have come out a little bit more domed looking. So I would have, if I was to do it again, I would have put more batting in behind there. Actually, I didn't put any batting behind there. This was my first piece that I did, and I don't know, it just slipped my mind to even put the batting behind it. So anyway, I'm okay with it. I mean, it's okay. I think it turned out cute. So that is all of my FFOs. Let me get another drink. Now, next I have my planner that I always talk about that I have. That's not really a planner, it's a tracker. This is my October progress that I made. I totaled it up this morning since this is the 1st of November. So I went through, and my total stitches for October, I did 10,140 stitches in October. And the number of days I stitched 28 out of 31 days. So I did pretty good this month, better than last month. Then I had 2 starts, but I didn't have any finishes. So, and then I also stitched on 4 different projects, which we'll look at those in just a minute. So that's how far I am there. So now it's on to November. On my whips, yes, we're going to move on to whips. I decided to find my oldest whip. I'm thinking here of what I want to do. Sorry about that. So this is my oldest whip. It's the Alphabet Blocks by Carriage House Samplings. And this, like I said, is my oldest whip. I started this, oh, my tag fell off the other day, May 3rd of 2019. So I didn't get very far considering how many letters are in the alphabet. So this was, I pulled it out with the idea that I was going to concentrate on working on this 30 minutes a day. So I've done okay, but I haven't stitched on it 30 minutes a day. I stitched on this, I did the border down here from where I left off up here. I brought the border down. I did the E with the elephant. The color of the elephant was supposed to be barn gray, but I didn't have barn gray, and I only had 3 grays in my overdyed total. So I just blended 2 grays together and got a little bit more texture in the elephant. You're seeing the window behind it. So, there. So anyway, it's got a little bit more texture. And then I went over and started the block for the F. And the F is for farm. So I think there's a little barn on there. I haven't gotten that far. But I haven't been very good, like I said, at stitching for 30 minutes every day. But I have picked it up and stitched on it. And I'm going to leave this out through November and December, and I'm still going to try to get some stitching in on it. Even if it's, let me find a place to put this. Even if it's not 30 minutes a day, I'm going to try to concentrate a little bit more on it. This is the full chart, and you're going to get some reflection from my windows, but I'll try to move it around so you can see it. This is the full chart, and I'll try to move it around so you can see it. I'm not editing that out. So it's really cute. You could do a name, or you could do them individually, make little ornaments or something out of them. A lot of ideas, but it's really a nice chart. I do like it, and it's easy to stitch on. So, all right, so that one I'm going to continue to work on through the rest of the year. Then this is Halloween Hijinks, and if you're familiar with Stitch Brat, I had mentioned in my last video, I'm going to have to unzip this bag, so I had mentioned in my last video that she had come up with the idea of sectioning this chart off, and we started the 1st of October, and we should be able to have it finished by the 1st of October of next year. So it's really cute. Lots of little motifs on there. So no, October was the straight line across the top, and November is down the side. I'm working ahead because I already had mine started. So I have a dog hair. I already had the top line pretty much done. Let me see, I gotta go the other direction. I had it pretty much done. I picked up here and went down the side. So this was I already had all of this done. So however many little characters there were across here, I started and went down here and did the same amount of little guys, the hats and the ghost and candy corn. So this is on a piece of 18 count that I dyed myself. It's kind of a bluish gray. Kind of reminds me of pewter, but it's a little bit more bluer. A little more blue-grayer than pewter. So now I'll start in again and start the November, which will be down this side. So probably what I will do is see how much I can do here. Maybe work across the bottom a little bit. Or if I'm a little short on time, I may count in some of these instead. So not quite sure my plans on that one yet. And that's a Carolyn Manning pattern, in case you aren't familiar with it. It's by Carolyn Manning. There is Stitch Brat did do a stitch along hashtag on Instagram that's called Halloween Hijack Halloween Hijinks Sal 2022. Golly, get my act together. Then my next one was 2 Halloween pieces that I started in October. And I bought this from Etsy. It's a Lola Crow design. It's called Happy Haunting. Let's see, that's not too bad. Not getting too much glare there. Okay, that's Happy Haunting. This is my progress. I'm not going to unroll or take it off the rods, but I've got the ghost all outlined, and they're going to be stitched in glow in the dark. So I haven't stitched the inside of them, but I've worked my way down through the roof. It's pretty easy stitching, but that black and gray roof is a bird dog. I had to really watch I have a little magnet with it. Then I took a Sharpie, well, here. This is my stitchy place, so I can show it to you. I have just a white piece of magnet, and I marked an arrow, so then I can put it on my chart, and I know where I'm stitching. Because otherwise, I ended up having to take that roof out, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in different spots because I messed up on my on the chart. So, but it looks okay now. It's back where it should be. This porch, that I had to take out, I think 3 times because for one time I started the line down off of one of these other little points, so I had to rip it all out, and then I started it again, and I think I miscounted that time and had to take it all out. So third time's a charm. So that's Happy Haunting by Lola Crow. So let me put my chart back in my bag. And then my next one was Ouija board that I bought. Okay, wait a minute. I can't get that unlocked. Wait a minute. Wow. I have this little wooden piece that I can't find right now. Ugh. Yeah, that I can unlock these wing nuts, but I can't find it. It must have fell on the floor. So anyway, this is by Cloud Factory. It's Ouija board. It's so cute. I think it's really cute. And I had mentioned in my last video that I have a couple of Ouija boards. One glows in the dark, so it's pretty cute. And this is how much I've gotten done on it. I've gotten all of page 1. It's 4 pages. Page 1 is done. It cuts off part way through. Well, I think it cuts off right below the S and the T. And so I got page 1 done, and the little sun, I went back and filled it in. And then the moon is filled in. And the rest of it is all in black. So I worked last night down here on the cemetery. So I need to fill in the headstones, but I just pretty much worked in there last night. But it's going to be put up now. All of my Halloween are going to be put up now, and I'm going to work on some other stuff. I'm trying to change it up a little bit on my stitching plans. Because I don't know, I kind of get bored sometimes with stitching on the same things, or having to rotate out too often. So yes, before we go on to that, I'll show you what I did the other night. Gotta find my notepad. So the other night I went through I have 3 crates of projects. I have all of the bags, all of my cross-stitch bags like this. They're all stored in wooden crates. And then I have all of my scroll rods. These all go into the pillowcase sleeves that I've showed you before. Then they have the name on the pillowcase sleeve, just with a safety pin. I just write it on a piece of scrap muslin and pin it to the pillowcase at the top. So they're over here on the other side of the room, so I can just look and see what project is in that. So those all stand up in the floor right in front of each other, and then the bags all stay in the tote. So it's real easy to pull a project and then pull the bag that goes with it. So what I did, I went through and I wrote down all the whips that I came into 2022 with that I had not finished yet. And there wasn't very many that I had finished, because almost everything I have are large projects. So I wrote them all down. I had 18 total that I have not finished, that I started it from 2019 to 2021. In that 18, I had Cape Cod girls and Cape Cod boys, which I had started, but if you remember back, or if you saw some previous videos, I ended up taking them out. I ripped them out and started over. I wasn't happy with the look. I was using, I believe, 2 strands on 2 strands on 22 count, and I didn't like the look, so I ripped them both out, the progress that I had on them. And on one of them I had quite a bit of progress, but I had hand dyed the fabric So I pretty much either had to save the fabric or re-dye 2 pieces of fabric. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to throw the fabric out. So anyway, they're on here, but I'm really not counting them because I started them over this year. So that would move that down from 18 whips brought over into the year to 16. So I'd like to really concentrate on these whips, but then I have 5 whips that came in. Wait a minute, let me back this up. Yes, so 5 of those whips I have not stitched on this year. I wrote down how many let me look at this again because it's been a few days. Yes, this group is what I still have. I have 5 whips that I have not stitched on this year. So between November and December, I'm going to try to get some stitching done on those 5. I'm not going to start anything else. I'm not going to work on Christmas. I'm going to concentrate on getting some stitching done on these 5 because, again, they're big. Most of them are big patterns. In 2022 so far, I've had 9 starts and finishes, so that's not bad, but again, I want to get those down, the older ones down. And in 2022, I have had 12 starts that are not finished. So on top of these over here that are whips from previous years, I still have 12 more to add to that. So I'm not starting anything. I'm only concentrating on the 5 older whips this year. So I don't really know what I'm going to do as far as next year. I'm probably going to try to stay with the oldest whip, stitch on it for a while, and then put it away and move on because I'd really like to knock those out. Excuse me. So as far as my November plans, I pulled out these. There goes my, it's 11 o'clock a.m. So I don't know if this is going to be too noisy for you or not. It'll be done in a minute. Oh, I can't find my fabric. Maybe I need to cut fabric. Guess I need to cut fabric for these. These are Woodland Animals, and they came out of a Just Cross Stitch magazine. I don't think I have the date. I'd have to go back and find them. One is a hedgehog, and there's beads on these. I did the squirrel. I did one. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a squirrel. I haven't FFO'd it yet. I was going to wait and get these done too. But this is a little hedgehog, and he has beads on him, and stitching both. And then this is the owl. So I'm going to pick one of them and work on it. Like I said, that one, those were back. I started the other one that I have finished May 14th of 2020. So I need to work on these and get some of these done. My next one from some of my older ones is Calendar Girls, and they are, I've got all the Calendar Girls. So you've seen these in previous videos of mine, or else you've seen them online, so I'm not going through all of them. But I am going to work on November. So I have just kind of randomly stitched them. I have fully finished 3 of them into a pillow. Excuse me. 3 of them into a pillows. And then I have May that I did, but it's upstairs and it's not FFO'd. I have March that I finished, and I just left it on there because I didn't want to cut it apart. So I'll stitch some more on this fabric and cut them apart at some point. What I'll probably do is once I get a second one in, maybe I'll cut it apart and FFO it. I don't know. I'm using the same fabric on the back of all of them. It's an old plaid shirt that I had This is the second piece of fabric form. I dyed it myself. Have no idea. What I did was section these off. Actually, I have it this way. But I ran a running stitch to section them off. And this is I think it's a 28 count Lugana. It's an even weave. So that is going to be part of my progress for the end of the year, or plans. And this I have not worked on in forever. I have Quaker ornaments, and these were from Fox and Rabbit, from their mystery stitch along in 2020. They gave you a bonus chart at the end of each month. So I had taken them. I don't believe they're I've gotten 2 done. And they are upstairs in my under the bed box, I think. But anyway, as you can see, not any progress. But I'm going to pull out another one of those. And what I'm wanting to do, let me pull these out. I'm doing them in a variety of DMC floss, just whatever I happen to pull out. So I've just got all different colors. I've got these, another red and orange with the dog hair, and a green, another green, darker green, and this one. So that's what I'm doing with those. Oh, look. That's where they are. Hold on. Hold, please. I was just thinking I had not seen these in the under the bed box. So where were they? All right. So they're going to be a little wrinkled. So there they are. So each one of them will be a different color. But like I said, these were a bonus chart in 2020 from Fox and Rabbit's Mystery Stitch Along, which I had done that too. I don't know if you can go back and get that. It was a free stitch along. You didn't have to buy the chart. So Brendan and Karen offered that, which was really nice. Those are big charts that they do. Then the next one that I have not stitched on this year is Vintage Birds. This was a New Year's Day start, January 1st of last year. I was unzipping that and I ended up zipping it up. So this is Vintage Birds by Jeanette Douglas. I believe she has a second one that's called Vintage Birds. She's got one that's called Vintage Flowers, too, that is really pretty. And I think I forgot to pull the piece. Okay, I'm not going to pull that because I'd have to look through my stack. But anyway, I have the top line done. I have this flower done. I am working on the turkey plume back there. I can't remember if I've done this one or not. I have some progress, but not a lot. But I know I'm working on this because the inside of that turkey plume are Algerian eyes. So it's a very slow stitch. So if you're not familiar, this is an Algerian eye. So you have to put a lot of stitches in one little piece to make some progress. So anyway, that one is in the plans. Next, I have Carolyn Manning, A Flower a Day. I started this July 12th of 2019. I started it on a Q-snap, and I would like to get it on a scroll rod. I prefer scroll rods over Q-snaps, and my husband's been making them for me, so I have extra dowel rods, so I think I need to just have him make me another set. But this is how far I am on this. This is 18 count. I stitched, it's either 16 or 18 count, Ada. And then I dyed this. It's pretty bright. I don't know if I put something, let me try to put this behind it and see if it, hang on, again. I don't know if that shows up any better, but it's a bright yellow, bright yellow. And I think this was lemon Rit dye, I'm not sure. But I used Rit dye and I used a bright yellow. It's fun to stitch on, but you do have to concentrate, and that's with all the busyness of it, you gotta really watch, because if you get off, you know, you're gonna be right on the next little motif. So I stitch a little and then I mark it off with a marker, and then I stitch a little and mark it off. But you really got to be careful with all these vines that you don't get off. So anyway, that's going to be the plan. This is just my working copy, so you can kind of see that copied on a lighter yellow, but busy. I saw on Instagram, I believe the other day, yesterday I think, somebody finished theirs. They had finished stitching it, so, and it turned out really pretty. She also has those where she has like a flower a day and it's in red, or a flower a day and they're blues or purples or whatever. So the last one that I have that I want to work on this year is on my floor stand, and I'm not gonna, it's just impossible unless I take it off the floor stand, and it's just too hard to do. So I might put a picture in or something at some time. I'm not going to this time, but this is called Dutch Beauty. It's huge, like really, really big. What the stitch count is not on the back, apparently. Anyway, you all, I think, are probably familiar with this, but I put the border on all the way around and realized when I got back to connect up, it didn't match. And I found the mistake, because right over here, I made a mistake in the border. And it's a simple border. It was, let me look. It's like these 3 little things there, and then you go down a certain amount and it's 3 little things again, and then back up and 3 little things. Well, do you think I could do that? No. I came over here after I had gone across the top, down the bottom, or down the side, across the bottom, and over here, and I put 2 in. So it throws everything off. So I have to rip out this and this to get it to connect up right. But I'm not doing it right now. And I will rip it out, because it will bug the heck out of me if I don't. So I will rip it out. Probably rip it out and stitch a little, and rip it out and stitch a little. But anyway, I did start that September 20th of 2020. I should have known. But, okay, that is all of what I'm going to work on for the next couple of months. So you'll see some progress in those. I have a little bit of haul. And then I got my C charts out. We've been looking through some of my patterns, and I started, if you've watched previous videos, I started with the A's, and we looked at those, the designers that start with A's. We looked at the B's, which I had 3 boxes of, which I keep all my charts by designer in these magazines. And then I put them on my shelf like this, and I can see what is in them. So anyway, we've looked at the A's. We looked at 3 boxes of B's. I looked when I pulled these, I have 3 boxes of C's. This is the smallest of the boxes of C's. The other 2 are packed full, so we're going to keep those for next time. I did want to show you this. I decided I'm going to do this as a New Year's Day start. So I'm going to look on, I haven't looked yet. This is called Peacock Sampler by Twin Peaks Primitives. It's not, let me look. I saw the date in it, and now I can't remember what the date was. I don't think it's this year, but I could be wrong. I don't see the date. But anyway, yeah, I don't see it. It's called Peacock Sampler. I love this piece. I love the style of the house. I like houses anyway, but I love the style of this house and the peacocks, the way their turns and the way their feathers, their tails lay out. It says, "This is home, a place of safety and joy, a place to rest and create." Isn't that beautiful? So anyway, I'm going to make this my New Year's Day start. I haven't picked fabric yet or floss, but it does call for, let me look, I think it's all DMC. Yes, it calls for all DMC floss, and it even has a skein estimation. It's hard to see backwards. A skein estimation on it. It's 339 stitches wide and 286 stitches high. So it's going to be really big. They do say the model was stitched on 25 count Zwagart Lugana. They don't give a color, so I'm not sure what the color is. This is a 2021 chart. There are 22 colors. So I don't know. They don't. Wait a minute. Okay, it says up here 14 count Ada Oatmeal Rustico. But down here it says the model was stitched on 25 count Zwagart Lugana, which I will probably do mine on the Lugana because I like the look of it, and I'll probably just dye something up. But anyway, I'm going to look on Instagram, and if there's, I'll come up with a hashtag for it for my New Year's Day start. So if anybody would like to join in, I'd love to have you, and we can see our progress together, whether it's a little progress or a lot of progress. We can stitch along together on it. So I'd like to know if you want to join in. So I think I have one person that mentioned she would like to stitch it. So we'll just see if we can't get a group of us going. So that's that one. Haul, I got some yesterday, so this was a good time to do a floss tube. I'm not buying too much. I haven't bought anything for a good while. I went ahead and ordered the barn gray from that alphabet blocks that I was doing. Since I didn't have it, and I only had 3 grays, and they all kind of had greenish looks or bluish looks, so I ordered the barn gray just to have on hand. So ordered a couple of those. I order at least 2 whenever I order a color, because I don't want to be in a place that I run out on thread, so I know I've got them to where they match. I ordered this one, Shine On Harvest Moon. It's by Calico Confectionery. I got all of these from 123 Stitch. I think it's really a pretty little pattern. That moon is kind of cool because if you block off the moon, you can see that part of the moon. It has its own face, but then when you block off this, it has kind of a creepy face on that side. But I thought it was a pretty pattern. I got Fragments in Time. Let me take it out of this bag. My floss came, my overdyes came in this little bag, and this didn't come in a bag, so I just put it in there. This is Fragments in Time 2022 by Summer House Stitch Works. Let me see if it has number 8. So it's that's really pretty. I like the bird patterns a lot, most of the bird patterns. And then I ordered this one. It's by Homespun Elegance Country Spirit Collection Broom Riders. I saw somebody had this stitched up the other day, and so I got on there and ordered it. I usually have my shopping cart on 123 Stitch just sitting there, and then I'll add something when I get a few pieces in there. I go ahead and place my order. This one was from Expo, and I was hoping to get it at Galleria when I went down there, but I didn't see it anywhere, so they may have already sold out, or maybe they didn't have it at all. But of course everybody knows Teresa Kogut's Halloween and all the great patterns that are in this one. There are so many cute ones in there. This is why I bought it. I didn't realize when they were doing Expo releases before the Expo, I really wanted these. I did the Boohoo from Luminous Fiber Arts, the cat heads, and the, well, it was a cat head and an owl head. And I had framed that, or made it into a pillow with both of them. Y'all saw that. But I really wanted that one, and then I wanted this one on the cover, and I didn't realize they came in a book together with all these others. There's 11 projects in here. So I'm glad I got that one. And then my other one that I really like that I got was Jan Hicks Creates Antonia Rosell. I'm not sure what the Y is there for. Rosell Y Garcia, 1886. This is kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can put it way close. But it's really pretty. So I had been wanting that one too, and I couldn't find either one of these at Galleria when I was down there. And then I bought from Amazon, I got a new planner for next year. This is the Blue Sky planner that I use every year. I don't like this part. It's a frosted front. I wish they had just done a clear front because the cover of it's so pretty. But this is what I buy every year. They're about $12, $15. But it gives you your month. And then, well, let me get a hold of it. I can't seem to get any pages. Okay. Then it gives you each day. So you can write something on each day. I have a stitching, not a stitching journal. I have a journal that I started earlier this year. Separate of just like things we do or whatever. But I think what I'm going to do is combine it all in this one. Before I didn't because I wanted this to be only stitching. But I think what I'm going to do is at the first of the year I'm going to start do my journaling on these days. Because I always keep track of what I'm stitching on the month part. So I did go ahead. Let me flip to it. I think I worked on it a little bit. I think it's in the back. Yeah. I have already transferred all my whips over. They're on a blank page that's in the back. And I put in my 2019 whips, my 2020 whips, 2021, 2022. So I know none of these are going to be done this year. So I went ahead and put them in there. And then what I do is if I finish it, then I'll write, I have my start dates here. And what I'll do is when I get over here, I'll write finish date. Hopefully I'll see some finish dates on these. So. But anyway, I bought that from Amazon. And then the last little thing, my husband found these. He found two of them. They're kind of a crackle glass. And they have this little lid that sits on top with 4 holes in it. I don't know what the purpose of it is. Maybe it's a toothbrush holder. But anyway, the lids aren't very good. They have some bad spots in them. They have some water spots because I washed them. But he got me some black paint last night, and I'm gonna spray paint the lids black. Black or red, I haven't decided. But then I figured I could put scissors in here, and then I could put my scissors down in there. But I could also use this for an art jar. So that was what I thought when he brought him in. He's so good about stuff. He's like, I found something you might be able to use. So he's just really good about that. It's like, yeah, that'll hold scissors and orts. So that is everything I've got to show you now. We're going to move on. Let me get a drink. I needed a cup warmer in here. My tea's getting kind of cold. So now we're going to run through these real fast because I'm at an hour and I don't like to go too much over. These are not going to be in an order because when I set them down, I knocked the rack over a while ago and they scattered, so they're going to be out of order according to designer. They're just going to start with C's. Other than this, and I will show you these to start with. This is my Santa Village. I have all of them. And it's not going to get done by Christmas this year because I'm not going to work on it anymore. This is Santa Village. There is, and I'm doing these all on one piece. No. This is Candy Cane Cottage. Santa Village is the series. Candy Cane Cottage. This is Christmas Tree Farm. This is Reindeer Stables. And I'm doing mine all on one piece of fabric. North Pole Post Office. It's got the little letters hanging from the clothesline. This is Mrs. Claus Cookie Shop. And all of them have at least one button on there. So I'm putting the buttons on and I'm adding beads to them too. Gingerbread Emporium. On eyes, I'm going to use small petite glass beads from Mill Hill. This is Santa Sleigh Works. See if I can read these backwards. Okay, I can't read that one. Elves Workshop. I haven't done that one yet. Hot Chocolate Cafe. I have not done that one yet. I think I have about 2.5 to do. This is Poinsettia Place. This is Santa's House. That was the first one I did. And this is Santa's Stocking Store. So those are all on one piece of fabric. So I'm going to put those back in there so I don't get them mixed up. Then I have from Curry, I think it's pronounced Currybata Curry. I really like these. I can't pronounce it, so we're just going to show it. But it's got a lot of the flowers. They're for each month, I think. No, I think it has the name of the flower under it. But it's not in English, so I won't put the name under it. If I do, it would have to be the English name for it, so probably just going to cut that border down. I have Halloween. Let's see if it says. No. Halloween and cross stitch. Maybe that's it. I think that's really cute. I have this one. I ran my working copy and was going to start it, and I never have. This looks like, all this purple, this looks like something Angie from Little House Stitcher would like, because her favorite color is purple. A Day at the Beach. This is by Country Cottage Needleworks. Try and get that glare off. This is Country Cottage Needleworks, Silent Night. Country Cottage Kids. This is old. This is 2008. Country Cottage Kids, Boys and Bugs, Bumblebees, Fireflies, Ladybugs, Ants, Butterflies, and Dragonflies. I was going to stitch this for my grandson when he was little. He's now 18. Didn't happen. Country Cottage Needlework, Frosty Forest. This is Snowy Friends. Frosty Forest is the series. I only have a few of these, the ones I wanted to make into ornaments. This is Welcome to the Forest, and it's called Forest Deer. And let's see. Yeah, I got some more. Country Cottage Needleworks, Big Dream. Nope, Dream Big. This is Frosty Forest from Country Cottage Needleworks, that series, Raccoon Cabin. This is part of the Frosty Forest, it's Snowy Deer. And then we are, no, I have one more. Let me see, Country Cottage Needleworks, Button Button. Now we're going to move on to Cottage Garden. I have Peacock and Pomegranate. I really like this one. I like the peacocks. This is Merry and Bright. This is Gathering Acorns. I think I have something. Oh, I have two of them. Okay, I was going to say that's not coming out right. October 31st. It was throwing me because I had this on the front, but when I turned it around, it said October 31st. So yes, this is October 31st. I'd really like to do that one. This is Witch Board. It's another Ouija board. This is Peace on Earth. And this is Strawberry Harvest. And that is all of my charts that start with C that are in the small box. The other two boxes of C's are going to be a lot of charts, because I have a lot of carriage house samplings and others that I'm sure you're going to like to look at. So anyway, that's the last of it. It's at 1 hour and 8 minutes, and I'm going to finish up here then, and I will see you next. Oh, no. I have to tell you, I'm really bad about, I lost my book. Oh, shoot. I have a book with who I watched. All right. I watched The Fanciful Flamingo. I found it. I don't know how many people knew about her. I happened onto her. She is hysterical. She is so funny. I love watching her. She's got just I think, if I remember right, she's got just a few videos out, but I'm following her on Instagram now too. But The Fanciful Flamingo. I found a new one called Juniper Needleworks. When I watched the other day, she only had one video out, so I'm not sure if she has any more yet or not. But she has some really cute Halloween in the video I watched. Her name is Jan. She designs her own designs, and she had a really cute witch's house that she had designed and stitched, and her patterns are available on Etsy under Juniper Needleworks, I believe. I watched Janet Jabber. I watched Stitched in Hand. She only had one video out the other day too, and so I really enjoyed her. I can't remember what her name was, but I did enjoy it. And then another one I watched is Three Cats Stitching. I kind of have been trying, you know, we all have our regular floss tubers that we watch, but I know there's thousands. Wouldn't it be great if you could find a book or something that had every floss tuber out there listed, and you could go down through and pick? But you know, there's got to be thousands of floss tubers out there, so I've been trying to find some new ones and see how they are, and look at some of their things. So those were just some that I watched this last couple of weeks. I haven't been getting a lot of watching in, even though I've laid or sat in my chair and stitched a lot. But those are the floss tubers I watched, and I did want to mention them. So anyway, that's the last of it. So it'll be a couple of weeks again, and I'll try to have some new stuff for you and show you some of the whips that I've been working on. So, and we'll look at some C charts. So appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.